Well, hello there, folks. Welcome back to this channel, which is all about helping you become the best trainer, presenter, workshop facilitator that you truly can be. In today's video, I want to talk to you about how do you talk as a trainer. Now, a lot of people come along to my workshops and they say, Mark, you're different. Mark, you speak a little bit differently to what I've ever heard before. And the thing is, we need to appreciate that just because you can speak a language doesn't necessarily mean that you can teach. And we also need to appreciate that teaching, training, and social chit chat are all different skill sets, right? And how you communicate socially is one skill. How you train people is another skill. How you speak in terms of public speaking is another skill. But ultimately, it all comes back to how do you put your content together? How do you structure it? But also, how do you actually deliver your message in a powerful and engaging manner? And all of these things, of course, I talk about in my book. Definitely check it out if you haven't already got it. But it's definitely a life-changing book, and it really invites you along that journey of developing your speaking and delivery skills as a trainer and presenter. Now, let's get into today's topic, which is all about how do you speak as a trainer. Now, there's three things that a trainer is going to be consistently doing. And if you ever listen to a pro trainer or even a pro speaker from stage, they are doing these three core things. You probably want to grab a pen and write these down. And I would have to say, before I was aware of these three things, I would have a lot of misfirings, a lot of situations where I would say something and people would look at me weirdly, or I would say something hoping that people would buy my book or run to the back of the room and take action. And strangely, people didn't, right? But the thing is, once I realized these three things, everything changed for me, right? So you definitely want to grab a pen and write these down. First one, number one, is you. Yes, what a strange thing to say, but you. You see, when we are actually speaking to an audience, particularly on Zoom, we need to appreciate that generally, unless somebody's got multiple personalities or they've got spiritual things going on in the room, generally they are one human, right? So when we deliver training, we need to appreciate that you are speaking to many yous, okay? And as much as possible, great trainers, great facilitators, great workshop, mentors, and all the things that we want to call ourselves are able to regularly use the word you more than the word I. Couple of reasons. Essentially, number one is the focus should always be about the audience. The focus should be about the people that are in front of you. The other thing is, whenever you use the word you, the listener thinks that the speaker is thinking about them and speaking to them, right? So you are all watching this video. You are all highly likely taking on these great learnings, great concepts as you are following along on this channel. And you are making new decisions to implement these skills and transform your communication quality and what the results you're getting in your workshops, right? So just as a note, go out there, start to listen to professional speakers, professional trainers, and start to listen to how often they use the word you, because strangely, surprisingly, it's going to be a lot more than you ever expect, right? Now, second one is agreement. What's the word, Phil? Please, it is agreement. You probably want to write that down, agreement. Now, you will find that great trainers, presenters, coaches, facilitators, mentors are very, very, very aware that all audiences, in order to be influenced, have to have some element of trust that they place in you. And ultimately, in order to influence anyone, there must first be an element of agreement. So agreement precedes rapport, right? So we've got rapport, and then from that, influence is created. But without rapport, we can't influence anyone, right? So what you'll notice is that great trainers, presenters, facilitators are consistently aware and are consistently aiming to create high levels of agreement throughout a presentation, throughout a workshop. And they are consistently using expressions such as, would you agree that? Would it be the case that? Have you ever felt XYZ? I don't know. In your experience, has it ever been the case that? And they are consistently dropping in phrases that will build agreement throughout a session. And there is always an unconscious agreement meter that's happening in the room. And whenever a trainer has pockets of disagreement, we actually call that fractionation. And so one thing you always want to be thinking about is how often can you get your audience to be saying yes in their mind? So as a trainer, as a presenter, you want to be thinking, how much buffer do I have in my room? How much more agreement can I build? And at the peak of the agreement, that's where people are really receiving the information. So you want to be thinking about how often can you use the word you? How often can you build agreement to influence your audience and build that massive levels of rapport? Third one. Now, this is the kicker here, folks. This is where the professionals play out. Now, this is, write this down, why first. WHY first. You see, great trainers, facilitators, coaches, and mentors know that ultimately there has to be very strong why in the beginning for anybody to take on what you're about to say. They have to, the audience have to agree to the rational thought, the logic, and the emotion before they are going to listen to what you're about to say. Now, there is a particular structure out there in the training world and out there in the teaching world called the format structure. We won't go into that in any now in this video, but essentially, the format structure says that as a human, an audience member needs to hear the why first. They need to hear the rationale, the convincer, the reason why I should really listen to you and what you've got to say. So if I was going to give you any piece of advice, if you really want to take your results to the next level as a trainer, instead of thinking, what am I going to say? You want to be thinking, why would somebody need to know what I'm about to say? That should be your underlying first, the premier question that you should go to. Why should somebody need to, want to, have to hear what I'm about to say? And as a result of hearing this, what benefits are they going to get? That's where I want to invite you to go to. And also, that's not just in the planning, but also in the delivery as well. You want to spend as much time as you can to really create that why. Then you're going to have the what and potentially a little less time on the what, a little more time on the how, and definitely at the very end, you're going to take time for questions and maybe some case studies or maybe some frequently asked questions, or you want to debunk some objections to what you've told them, right? But you want to spend the majority of your time in the why, all right? So you can be the average trainer that, it doesn't even include the why or talks all about the what, but professionals spend more of their time in the why, just like Simon Sinek said, right? Start with a why. But at the end of the day, it's all about you. It's all about creating agreement with the audience. And last of all, it's capturing that why in the very beginning so everybody is drawn to the importance of what you're about to tell them. On that note, folks, hope you got some value from the video. Like, comment, share. Let's get the message out there. And thank you so much, always, for subscribing to the channel and really sharing this, because it's fantastic to see the growth of the channel and all these people subscribing as they do. Thanks so much, and we'll see you on the next one. Bye for now.